off, just chilling, getting big. I wasn't before, I was taking a lot of time all the way into boxing. I had one foot in and one foot out. It wasn't 2 feet in. I was doing the things that, got me there, to that show everybody that I'm back and I'm better than before. Six.
Jeff, he's not going to try and change Tim, I don't think, as a boxer, but he's going to motivate him. He's going to get him ready. And, gee, it just sets the scene for such a big moment in Australian boxing, Tim Tszyu against Errol Spence.
Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu are getting ready for a huge fight, and every workout tests both their bodies and minds. Long sparring sessions, exhausting fitness drills, and strict dedication continue to shape two world-class boxers who are determined to prove they deserve to stand at the top when the first bell sounds.
When I'm working out and stuff, I like being around people and like seeing different things. I got a treadmill in my garage, and my girl had bought me the treadmill for my birthday. She was like, "You never use it." She was like, "I always buy you stuff for your birthday and stuff. You never use it." So I don't really like running by myself. Like just looking at people and just looking at different things like that. Like that's what I like. I like being around people.
Boxing might be the only thing about Errol Spence that's abnormal. Otherwise, he's a champion without entourage, a star without bling, a guy who is in fact normal, and not normal at all.
Some people like walk up to me and want to take a picture and things like that. They'll be like, "What's up?" Because I've been cut up for a while. People ask me in my Errol Spence. It depends on who it is. But sometimes if I don't feel like being bothered, I'll be like, "Nah." And they'll be like, "Man, you look just like him." I'll be like, "Yeah, I get that. I get that all the time."
Even after spending almost 3 years out of the ring, Spence Jr. has come back to training with incredible focus. Every heavy bag session shows the sharp skills and determination that once made him one of boxing's greatest champions. He throws clean, quick combinations with strong power and precise accuracy while keeping a non-stop pace in every round. People inside his current training camp describe Spence as fully focused, physically renewed, and impressive with his fitness, smooth punching, and defensive movement. Spence has started a new chapter with a different coaching team led by Ronnie Shields in Houston. The move has given him fresh motivation, with Spence saying the new coaching style and team chemistry perfectly suit this point in his career. Training has centered on improving his timing, strengthening his defense, rebuilding self-belief, and bringing back the physical intensity that once made him one of boxing's most dominant champions. Working beside top-level fighters has also created a competitive environment that pushes him to give his best effort every single day. At the same time, Tszyu continues using his signature head conditioning exercises as part of his preparation, building the toughness and durability that define his fighting style. During workouts, he repeatedly takes controlled punches while staying focused, balanced, and composed because he believes the drills help him remain calm under pressure. For elite boxers, preparation involves far more than lifting weights or hitting the heavy bag. It is a carefully organized process created to improve every physical and mental skill needed for success. Every workout has a purpose, and every repetition is completed with the goal of becoming slightly better than the previous day. For Tim Tszyu, early morning training usually starts before sunrise. Empty streets become his first workout area as long-distance roadwork builds cardiovascular endurance and strengthens mental toughness. Running is about much more than speed. It teaches discipline, breathing control, and the ability to keep going through discomfort. Champions know a fight can finish in just a few rounds or last until the final bell. That is why endurance remains one of the most valuable weapons they can carry into the ring.
Coffee start before we get smashed. But let's do. Let's start. The track is a boxer's best friend and also worst enemy. Wow.
Tim Tszyu has teamed up with legendary Australian trainer Jeff Fenech to prepare for his planned fight against Errol Spence Jr. after deciding he needed a new direction. Tszyu explained that Fenech's aggressive coaching style, experience, and ability to build confidence perfectly matched his strengths as a pressure fighter. He also preferred training closer to home in Australia instead of overseas because he believed the familiar surroundings would improve his focus and mental preparation.
Beautiful day, too. The sprint's got my legs, bro, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. No pain, no gain. That's exactly. What is that? Oh.
See, I get the same point, okay? That's the same. You don't move that leg, no. You're looking through, be.
10 minutes, yeah?
Fenech has promised to help Tszyu develop into a more complete boxer by strengthening his defense without taking away his aggressive style. Their partnership is designed to give Tszyu the best possible opportunity to defeat the experienced Errol Spence Jr.
The two most famous names in Australian boxing, Tszyu and Fenech, now united.
I need to bring ruthlessness. I need to bring a relentless style. When you talk about Australian boxing and Australian relentlessness, you're talking Jeff Fenech. Jeff's very outspoken. He says what's on his mind.
I said that his team that he had were clowns. If he had a trainer who knew anything about the rules and regulations of boxing in his first fight against Vendora, if they had any brains, they would have stopped the fight and he's still world champion.
I felt like Jeff was the one that I needed at this point in my career, this point in my life, and it's been a positive outlook ever since.
Yeah, you got a twist. That's it. Leave it at that's it. Boy, just bring.
As he prepared for the Errol Spence Jr. fight, Tszyu openly spoke about the hand injury that interrupted one of the toughest periods of his career, admitting it became a major challenge during both training and competition. After completing his recovery program, he said the injury no longer affects his punching power or preparation. Going into his matchup with Errol Spence Jr., Tszyu says he feels physically powerful, completely healed, and mentally refreshed, believing the difficult experience made him more resilient and thankful for every chance to compete at the highest level.
Birth, I remember him being 3 months old and him having teeth and being able to eat meat. Me and Natasha and Costa, we all bungee jumped in Cairns. So we were very, very close back then. I've watched him grow up. I've watched him fight. I've commentated, 90% of his fights, and my job's looking after him. That's my son I'm putting in the ring now. I don't think that he's somebody else's child. I've got his life, his laid years in my head. I see a huge change in Tim, in his confidence, in his aura. I just think that he knows that he's got somebody who's going to look after him now. And then boom, yeah, make him catch first. He's got to catch, or he's getting punched in the face. That's it, all distance, Timmy. 2 legs fast. If there's one thing I'm working really, really hard with him is on his foundation, having his feet in the right position, because if you've got good foundation, you're very hard to move. And the most important thing is when he's finished punching, he doesn't come back and be in the line. If I can get him moving to the side and doing those kind of things properly, very confident that we're going to be victorious.
With fight week drawing closer, Errol Spence Jr. has officially landed in Sydney, Australia, moving his comeback journey into its final stage. Joined by members of his team, Spence received a traditional welcome to country ceremony at the airport before focusing on the biggest challenge of his return. Calm and confident after the long trip from the United States, the former unified champion shared his excitement about fighting in Australia despite entering enemy territory. With media appearances, public workouts, and the official weigh-in still to come, Spence remains committed to ending training camp with discipline, promising to embrace the atmosphere, quiet the home fans, and prove he can deliver a world-class performance against Tim Tszyu in front of his own supporters.
He should not have been put in. I know he wanted to continue, but it should have been taken out of his hands.
I don't want to make excuses, man, but yeah, this cut was quite frustrating.
Tim's dressing room, it felt like there'd been a death in the family. It was an emotional interview that I did with him. He was different to I'd ever seen him before.
But look, life's giving you hard times, and you just gotta make the most of it.
I just remember in the dressing room after, he was just, bawling his eyes out in the shower, and he just had blood just gushing down him. And I'm thinking, this is...
When I was in hospital, there was only 2 people. My wife and Omar.
A lot of stuff coming through your brain because you don't know what the doctor's going to come and tell you, If it's concussion, if it's got something, everything can happen. It's boxing. It's a business for them, but it's a life or death for us.
Australian boxing great Danny Green believes the biggest question before the Errol Spence Jr. versus Tim Tszyu showdown is which version of Spence will enter the ring after nearly 3 years away from competition. Although Green respects Spence's championship history and proven world-class talent, he admits the long break makes the former unified champion difficult to judge. Green believes the opening rounds will be extremely important because Tszyu must quickly measure Spence's timing, sharpness, and physical condition. If Tszyu notices signs of ring rust or slower reflexes early, Green feels the Australian should increase the pressure and seize control of the contest. In his opinion, Tszyu's strongest path to victory is making Spence uncomfortable from the opening bell and forcing him to answer difficult questions before finding his rhythm.
It was a dope experience, man. I wasn't expecting it at all, get greeted by Aborigines and getting the whole dance and getting to meet them and everything. So it was dope, man. I appreciate that, especially coming out, long trip. And then first thing I come out, I get greeted by the Aborigines. So that was pretty dope.
How's it feel to be in Australia?
Huh?
How's it feel to be in Australia?
Oh, it feels good. I thought it was going to be a lot colder than this. So, the weather's great. Look like I was looking from the plane. Look like it's a great city. So I'm enjoying myself out here, and I can't wait for Sunday.
What does the next 10 days look like?
I'm just, a lot of training, probably some media stuff, but just staying focused, going over the game plan in the gym, and getting ready.
What was the reasoning behind the move to 160?
It wasn't no reason. I was like, why fight at 150? Why fight at 158? We might as well just fight at the weight limit 160. I mean, why not?
Obviously, you'll see Tim Tszyu at some point. What will your first words to him be?
I don't know.